Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Luke, and today we'll be discussing preferences, pathways, and offers. We have a couple of staff on the chat, so if you do have questions, please enter them there. We've had a lot of registrations for today's session, so we may not get to all of your questions, but our staff will do their very best. Before we move on to our agenda for today's session, I just want to congratulate you all on completing 13 years of schooling and to wish you best of luck on your new journey. I hope you find today's information useful and that it helps you reach your study goals for 2026 and beyond. Sorry, folks, I just realized I hadn't put my camera on, so it's on now. Okay. So today we're going to discuss preferences, changing preferences, including how you should list your courses and why, the various pathways you can take into courses, the offer system, and why we always recommend accepting your first offer, your December offer. We'll finish up with some key resources. But before we get into all of that, I'd just like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the lands on which we meet today and pay my respects to elders past, present, and emerging. Okay, so getting into it, let's start with preferences, change of preference. So change of preference is currently open for BCE Year 12s to make adjustments. So you've received your results. If you want to add courses, remove courses, or change the order of your list, you can make those changes until 12 noon on Saturday. That 12 noon Saturday deadline, that's a hard deadline. Late changes will not be possible. So if you do need to make your changes, make sure that you've made them by then. Even if you're confident about your preference listings and their order, double check. You really don't want to discover a mistake after the deadline. If we have any IB students with us, you will receive your notional ATAR on the 18th, and change of preference for you will close 4 p.m. that same day. Now, change of preference opens for a short window after each offer round. So after December offers are released on the 23rd, there'll be a change of preference window for January round 1 offers. And you can check the subsequent change of preference windows on the VTAC dates page. If we have any interstate students with us today, your change of preference windows can vary according to your results release schedule. So visit the dates page for details and confirmation. In terms of checking that you're eligible for all of your preferences, it's a good idea to double check the prerequisites and other requirements. All of this information is available to you in each course listing on VTAC Course Search, which you can navigate to from the VTAC homepage. So you go into Course Search, search and find your course, click on course requirements, select the type of applicant you are. So I doubt we have any mature age applicants with us today. So I imagine all of you will click studying Year 12 in 2025 and the information's there. Also remember that prerequisites refer to your raw BCE study scores. Scaled scores are used only for the calculation of the ATAR. If you want to find other courses, there are a range of filtering options within Course Search, such as university, area of interest, study mode. But at this time of year, I'm sure you'll find the estimated ATAR and the BCE Prerequisite Explorer useful. With estimated ATAR, you can filter by ATAR range, so between 60 and 65, for example, or 70 and 80, whatever your circumstances are. Or if you want to generate a list of courses that don't require an ATAR, just click on No ATAR. You can then further refine your search using the other filters. I just want to emphasize that if you're using the ATAR range, these are estimates based on last year's application cycle, so use it as a guide and not a guarantee. When you click on a course that uses the ATAR for selection, you'll first see a box like this. That figure is based on last year's application. So again, use as a guide, not a guarantee. It may move a little in either direction this year. When you click on the purple VCE Prerequisite Explorer, the table will expand. With this option, you can enter your VCE study program to get a list of courses that list those subjects as prerequisites. This year's Year 12s will need to click on Search Prerequisites for 2026, as that's the actual intake year, the year that your course commences. I'll just clarify though, with this, you're getting a list of courses that list your subjects as prerequisites. It doesn't go as far as filtering by the actual study score. So for example, you're filtering by English and not study score of 25 in English. So if you are going to change your preferences, make sure that you still list each course in the order you want to get into them, or in other words, in order of your preference. That means placing your dream courses at the top, even if you're not sure that you'll be made an offer. This is an area to be aspirational, and being aspirational up the top can only work in your favor. I'll explain why shortly. In the middle place are the courses that interest you and that you'd be happy to pursue, and backup courses and pathways at the bottom. So this is all super important because you're eligible for one offer per offer round. And that offer will come from the highest preference to make you an offer. So if you receive an offer for preference number 3, that means preferences 1 and 2 didn't make you an offer. And you actually won't find out about the lower preferences, as those places will have gone to other applicants. Do not make the mistake of listing courses in the order you think you'll get into them. Here's why. Let's say engineering is your dream course, but you think you've got a better chance of receiving an offer for science. So you move science to the top and engineering, your most preferred course, underneath. If you meet the requirements of both courses, you'll receive an offer for science because it's your top preference, and you'll miss out on your most preferred course, engineering. But if you'd listed courses in order of your preference or in the order you wanted to get into them, with your dream course at the very top, that's what you'll have received an offer for, your most wanted course, engineering. So remember, you're eligible for one offer per offer round. For your best chance of receiving an offer for your most wanted available course, list courses in the order you want to get into them with your dream courses at the top. Institutions don't consider where you've placed their course on your preference list either. This includes their early offer programs. You have the same chance of receiving an offer for a course, regardless of whether it is your first preference, your last preference, or if it's somewhere in between. Your application for each course will be assessed on the published criteria as detailed on Course Search. There's an example on the screen. So, prerequisites, ATAR, if the course requires an audition or a folio submission, you will never find preference placement listed as a criterion in this area. We also have a video that explains preferences visually, and it's available on the VTAC YouTube channel. It goes through pretty much everything I just spoke about in under 3 minutes. Okay, so on to pathways. There is more than one way into a course or field. So a pathway is a tertiary course that leads towards entry into another tertiary course. While ATAR and/or VCE completion is the most common pathway, there are plenty of other options for you to achieve your study and career goals. This is for every field as well, from the most competitive fields like medicine and law, to IT, to engineering, arts, nursing. Your aspirations really do not need to be restricted by your results or your ATAR. Why might you need a pathway? Well, maybe you don't meet the selection requirements or ATAR for that year. Maybe you don't have the subject prerequisites. Some people also need some additional support when transitioning from secondary school to tertiary study. They're both very different environments. In university, for example, the learning is all self-driven, meaning that you won't have staff chasing you for assignments or pressuring you to study. If you don't do the work, you simply fail. And it takes some people a little time to get used to that style of learning. Lastly, someone might want to take a pathway because they want a better understanding or a more hands-on understanding of a particular career, which a lot of certificate and diploma level courses provide. So how do you find pathways? So many courses on Course Search will have a pathway area in their information. There's a screenshot screen right there with an arrow pointing to the area. So in this example, there's a link which takes you to the institution's website for pathway details. And pathway options will differ across universities and also courses. So a pathway accepted at one university may not be offered at another. So if you do have an institution in mind, it's best that you seek advice directly from them. If you go through a certificate of diploma or advanced diploma pathway, or even through another bachelor degree, it's common to receive recognition of prior learning, which can take time off the bachelor degree that you're sort of going into. This can potentially mean that you go straight into second year. So we've got a couple of examples of pathways on the screens there. So the first is into nursing, and I've used medicine as the other example, as I really want to emphasize that pathways are relevant and work into even the most competitive of areas. So in both cases, there's one pathway through VCE and/or ATAR to get straight into the bachelor degree, but this doesn't work for everybody, even in the most competitive courses. So we can see that the certificate flows into the diploma and then into the relevant bachelor degree. And then in the case of medicine, the bachelor degree into the doctorate. But you could swap out nursing for IT or engineering or whatever else appeals to you. You just find those relevant certificates and diplomas and go through that process, obviously with advice from the institution you want to end up at. It's also worth remembering with these certificate and diploma level courses that the learning experience is usually quite hands-on and they provide a practical skill set within the area, whether it's nursing or IT or engineering. With recognition of prior learning as well, the pathway options may add possibly another 6 months to your overall study time, or in some cases, no additional time at all with that sort of recognition of prior learning. So, but you come out at the end with additional qualifications and that hands-on practical foundation in the career. So if you are going to list pathway courses, it's a good idea to put them lower down on your preference list where achieving results required for dream courses might be concerned. So stay aspirational at the top of your list. As we discussed earlier, this can only work in your favor. Some pathway courses at various TAFEs require direct applications, but should be detailed on Course Search. And you can also use the estimated ATAR filter to find options. Okay, so moving on to offers now. So the big December offer round is coming up. December offers will be released by 10 a.m. on Tuesday, the 23rd, so a couple of days before Christmas. The way it works, offers will be emailed progressively and in random order from the very early morning until 10 a.m., at which point they'll be available in your VTAC account. Now, what you're actually receiving from VTAC is it's a notification that you've received an offer from whichever university for whatever course. So congratulations, you've received an offer for this course. The institution making the offer will follow up with an email with instructions and also the deadline for accepting. If you don't receive that email, you'll need to contact the institution and not VTAC. So there are three things you can do with an offer. You can accept it by following the enrollment instructions from the institution. By doing that, you're securing a place for study in 2026, and you're actually still eligible for offers from higher preferences. You can reject the offer. So to reject it, simply ignore the follow-up email. The offer will lapse at the institution's deadline, and the place will go to somebody else in the next offer round. You will not be offered this course again for semester 1, 2026. You can defer an offer, but please understand that not every course can be deferred. So if you're intending to secure a place and take a gap year in 2026, speak to your chosen institutions and confirm that their course can be deferred. But it's always a good idea to accept your offer. Accepting an offer simply means that you're securing a place for study in 2026. It won't impact on your eligibility for offers from higher preferences in future offer rounds. If you reject your first offer, you'll lose the opportunity, the place will go to somebody else, and you risk not receiving another offer. So accept your offer, secure the place for 2026, and if you receive a preferred offer from a higher preference, just accept that, but you'll have to withdraw from the previous one. So to emphasize, if you accept your December offer, you'll secure a place for 2026, and you may receive a better offer in a subsequent offer round. If you reject it, you'll lose the place and you risk not receiving another offer. So just play it safe and accept your offer. Regardless of what you do with your offer, the offers process continues. Any course listed higher than your offered course will be considered in the next offer round. Any course underneath an offered course will not be considered. So in the example on the screen there, preference number 3 has been offered, preferences 1 and 2 will be considered, preferences 4 to 8 not considered. Now, change of preference opens in between offer round. So you can actually adjust the order of your courses, and you can move or add other courses higher for consideration. And again, should you receive a preferred offer, just accept it and withdraw from the previous one. So the key messages are: accept your offer and secure a place for 2026, move any courses that interest you higher for consideration. And if you receive a preferred offer in the next round, accept it and just withdraw from the previous one. Keep in mind as well that even after accepting an offer and commencing the course, you will have an opportunity to withdraw. In fact, each year, many commence their studies in late February or early March and soon realize, even if it was their dream course, that it just isn't for them. And that's okay. That's why the census date exists. The census date is a specific date by which you can withdraw from a course or subject without incurring any HECS help fees or a record on your academic transcript. It essentially allows you to experience a course and what it has to offer and then decide if you want to commit to it. Each course census date is usually 4 weeks after it commences, but check with your institution. So in terms of all the offer rounds coming up, we've got the December offer round on the 23rd, then the January round 1, so that's on the 13th of January. Then we have 4 subsequent offer rounds in late January and throughout February. So on the 27th of Jan, the 3rd of February, 10th of February, and finishing on the 17th. Just a few reminders as well. Your ATAR does not include any equity schemes or Cs adjustments. So if you have applied and are eligible for Cs and equity schemes, it is applied by each course during the course selection process. Offers will be visible in your VTAC account and then emailed to you from the offering institution. And to accept, just follow the instructions from the email you receive from the institution. And again, there is a time frame for accepting. If you don't accept it by that time frame, it will lapse. We have another explainer, so this one on the course offers process, and again, goes through everything I just discussed in around 3 minutes. And that's available on the VTAC YouTube channel. Okay, so there is support available for you at this time. Obviously, a very busy time, hectic time for everybody. So the first is the post results and ATAR service, or PRAS. So PRAS is staffed by both VTAC and VCAA. They're open right now and can be contacted on phone or via email over the next few days during the on-screen time. So they were open from 7 o'clock this morning. They'll be open tomorrow. They'll be open over the weekend as well. And the service will conclude on Monday, 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. There's also some good information on their website, including a pretty helpful FAQ. We usually have some frequently asked questions around this time of year. So the first one, when will I know if I've been made an offer? So we will discuss offers are made on specific offer dates or offer rounds, and we will first notify you via email. And that's just saying, congratulations, you've received an offer on this. And then the institution will follow up with instructions on how to accept. Can you receive more than one offer? You can receive only one offer per offer date, but you can potentially receive an offer on each offer date. So the answer is yes, but on each date, only one. So, and again, it's only your higher preferences that are considered. So if you receive an offer for your 3rd preference in December and don't make any changes to your preferences, you're eligible for offers from preferences 1 and 2 in January round 1. How do you accept an offer? Just follow the instructions sent by the institution. And can you change your preferences? Definitely. So change of preference is open right now until 12 noon on Saturday the 13th. And then change of preference will always open for a short window after the offers are released, after each offer round. So check those dates on the VTAC dates page. That's at vtac.edu.au/dates. You can also get support from VTAC, so you can call it our contact center, so VTAC Connect on 0399261020. They will be taking calls on Saturdays, so when change of preference closes from 9 a.m. until 2 p.m. and then every business day from Monday the 16th right up until Christmas Eve. So Monday to Friday, and then off on the weekend, and then up until Christmas Eve. That's it for our presentation. If you do need support, please don't hesitate to contact us. Thank you very much for joining, and best of luck for the coming weeks and into 2026 and beyond. Thanks very much, everyone. Cheers.